It was never shouted from the stage or scribbled in liner notes. Never captured in interviews or told in award show speeches, but what Michael Jackson never told you about Diana Ross is perhaps the most profound part of his story. Hidden behind decades of flashing lights, platinum records, and the thunder of applause. Their bond was not a scripted Hollywood friendship or a publicity-made pairing. It was something deeper, older, almost spiritual, rooted in the moments that came before Michael Jackson became the king of pop. When he was just a young boy with a nervous smile and a dream too big for the tiny rooms he rehearsed in, Diana Ross was the first person who saw him not just as a prodigy, but as a child, sensitive, eager, and vulnerable, craving protection as much as he craved the stage, and in her he found both the spotlight and the shelter. What he never told was that Diana wasn't just the person who introduced the Jackson 5 to Motown and the world. She was the emotional cornerstone of his early life, the person he looked to not just for validation but for safety. While Berry Gordy handled the business and Joe Jackson pushed discipline, Diana offered something softer, more nurturing. In private, she was a calm voice when the chaos of early fame became too much. She invited him into her home, let him explore. Her world, treated him like her own. And what began as mentorship quickly deepened into a surrogate mother-son bond so intense that Michael would often call her Mama when no one was around, but Michael, fiercely protective of his emotions, never broadcasted the full truth of their connection.
He kept it sacred.
What he never told the world is how many times he turned to her when things got too loud. How often she was the one voice he trusted when surrounded by managers, lawyers, and producers. He never revealed how her elegance and strength became the blueprint for what he admired in women, or how her belief in him at a young age anchored his confidence when others only saw a child act. As he grew older, and the world pressed harder against him with expectations, rumors, and betrayal, Diana remained one of the very few constants in his life, even when their paths diverged professionally. They didn't need daily contact. What they shared was deeper than that. In fact, one of the greatest secrets Michael kept was that in his will, he named Diana Ross as a potential guardian for his children, should his mother Catherine ever be unable to care for them. That simple gesture, documented in legal ink, spoke volumes about the depth of his trust and love for her, more than any televised tribute ever could. What he never told you was that Diana was his emotional North Star, a grounding force in a life that would later spiral into public spectacle, legal battles, and heartbreaking loneliness. While others sought pieces of his fame, Diana protected his soul. Even when rumors swirled about romantic involvement, neither of them ever confirmed nor fully denied. What truly existed between them was far more rare, unconditional love, the kind that doesn't fade with distance or fame. Michael knew the world couldn't understand their bond, and maybe that's why he kept so much of it quiet, protected from public misinterpretation. In a life dissected by the media and scarred by betrayal, Diana Ross was one part of his world that he didn't want to share, because it wasn't about the music or the money. It was about trust. So while fans continued to remember the hits, the moonwalk, the glittering gloves, and the shattered childhood, what most never knew is that behind the legend was a man who carried the quiet strength of a woman who believed in him from the very beginning. Michael Jackson may never have told you everything about Diana Ross, but his actions, his silence, and his loyalty said it all. She wasn't just a friend. She was the secret guardian of his heart, and that, more than any chart-topping single, may be his most beautiful untold story.